Good afternoon, everybody. Shavua Tov, Shana Tova, and welcome to the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rolene Marks, bringing you the top stories from Israel and the region every Monday to Thursday right here. Or if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you can find at the Israel Brief right there, and you too can play a role in helping to disseminate the news. But without further ado, let's take a look at those top stories. It has been quite a difficult, quite a solemn few days for Israel, as many of us were separated from our loved ones, our families, our friends, as Israel entered a 3-week lockdown period because of the high number of coronavirus cases and the high mortality rate. And this lockdown encompasses all of our high holy days, Yom Kippur, which will come up on Sunday night and all of Monday, the festival of Sukkot, which many of us look so forward to, meeting our friends in their various sukkahs, and culminating in Simchat Torah, a very joyous, a very celebratory time, and a very strange sense of sadness over the country, as many of us, or most of us rather, were locked in our homes. Sadly, unfortunately, there were some flouting the lockdown laws, and they were heavily fined by police. And police have set up checkpoints all across the country. There's some who are allowed within the coronavirus lockdown laws to return to their offices, made their way, but many people are electing to just stay home. And earlier today, the man they call the coronavirus czar, and I hate that word czar, Professor Ronnie Gamsu, he ordered that hospitals open up coronavirus wards just to prepare for a possible influx of patients. Earlier this morning, Israel's Supreme Court announced that they will extradite Malka Leifer, who is wanted for 74 counts of sexual assault and abuse in Melbourne, Australia. Justice Minister Avi Nissenkorn will sign off the extradition order. We don't know exactly when Leifer will be extradited, but we do know that the Supreme Court has ruled this possible. Now, she does have a very short period to appeal. However, the way that the case has been drawn out over a long period of time, it is unlikely if the courts will allow an appeal. And some good news. We've been talking over, I'd say, possibly the last month about all the incredible work that is being done to start normalizing relations with many countries around the world. And something quite significant happened just before Rosh Hashanah came in on Friday night, and that is the country of Armenia very quietly opened an embassy in Israel. But big news coming in this morning with the country Honduras, the Central American country, announced that they will be opening an embassy in Jerusalem by the end of 2020. They announced this shortly after congratulating Israel, in particular Prime Minister Netanyahu, on the signing of the Abraham Accords with the UAE and with Bahrain. And this will be reciprocal. Israel will open up our embassy in the capital of Honduras. Now, this weekend was Rosh Hashanah, and it is often said that during this time, if anybody does pass away, it's usually the most righteous amongst us. And I'd like to take a minute just to pay tribute to U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsberg, who passed away on the first day of Rosh Hashanah due to complications following a long battle with pancreatic cancer, and she was 87 years old. But Ruth Bader Ginsberg, or the notorious RBG as we call her, was really a trailblazer for women's rights, and really a massive, and to quote President Trump, titan of the law. This extraordinary lady was the second female to sit on the U.S. Supreme Court, and the second or the first Jewish woman to hold this very, very esteemed position. And RBG was extremely proud of her Jewish heritage, speaking often about how Jewish law, Jewish traditions has made her career the career that it is. And she was also very proudly a Zionist. More recently, she was quite horrified to hear that women who identified as Zionists were being kept out of the feminist movement. And she said it's absolutely untenable and shouldn't happen. and we pay tribute to this magnificent legal mind, this trailblazer, this stalwart for women, not just in the USA, but for all of us around the world. May her memory be a blessing. Those are the top stories making headlines, but don't forget you can check out our original content online on our website at www.layoftheland.online. If you want to subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which we send out, pop us a email at layotland@gmail.com. All those details are up on our website. You can also like us or follow us on Facebook, and we've seen a massive growth of likes and follows over the weekend. So if you're not there, give us a like, give us a follow. Don't miss out. We wouldn't want you to have FOMO. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us at the Israel Brief and on Twitter at Lay of the Land, or with the digit 5. We are very, very active there. And pop us a message. We love to hear from you. Those are the top stories making headlines today. And from my lockdown, as you can see, I'm prepared for the daily exercise grind from my office. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, and we'll speak again tomorrow.